that.
Well, where dozens of our country's veterans denied a doctor and then died because of a shocking cover-up. Well, that is the stunning allegation, and now Arizona Senators John McCain and Jeff Flake pushing for some answers. A recent report has charged those patients died while waiting for treatment at a Veterans Affairs hospital in Phoenix. The whistleblower behind it all, Dr. Sam Foote of the Phoenix VA, speaking out about this last night with Megan Kelly.
What happened was in February 2013, they started a secret waiting list. It was a paper list. So when you would come in for an appointment, they'd tap your information into the computer, and then rather than hit save, they would print it. And then there was actually no record that you had ever been there in the computer. They would take that piece of paper up to HAS, Health Administration Services, and then they would enter that on a secret paper list at that time and then shred the other document.
Is this really possible? Well, Pete Hegseth is CEO of Concerned Veterans for America. You know, Pete, I mean, this sounds like what an utter outrage if this actually did happen. I mean, how offensive. A family saying that those who served were sacrificed for bureaucratic bonuses at the VA. What do you think went on?
It did happen. The National Commander of the American Legion has called it one of the most abhorrent acts in VA history, and he's exactly right. We're talking about secret lists meant to hide wait times to make the VA's performance look better at this facility, and Sharon Hellman, the leader there, knew all about it, as the doctor talked about. This isn't the first time for her, by the way. She was in Spokane, Washington, the director there, and fudged suicide numbers, but she was just moved along because exexecutes never get fired.
Wait, stop right there. Stop right there. What the allegation is she fudged suicide numbers?
Well, they reported less number of veterans who had committed suicide in Spokane, Washington than they knew about. So they moved her on, and then she lands in Phoenix. And in Phoenix now, she's been a part of a secret list. That the reason they're doing it is just to make it look like their performance is better, so that they get the bonuses that they want, and they keep the heat off of them. In the process, veterans wait and veterans die because they don't get the appointments that they need, and no one's held accountable.
Well, they say they don't know anything about this, and the Inspector General is now investigating. How widespread do you think this is?
You know what? I think any politician, anybody who follows this issue closely that doesn't think this is widespread and endemic in the VA, their head in the sand. This is a calcified bureaucracy with dysfunction across the board, wait times, backlogs, preventative deaths, delays in care, secret lists, fudging numbers. I could go on and on. The Department of Veterans Affairs need to be fundamentally reformed because there is a culture, there's a calcified bureaucracy, a culture that doesn't try to provide excellence and is more obsessed with the process than it is with the outcome of veterans who deserve the very best that this nation could provide.
Well, you talk about reforming the Veterans Administration. Oliver North has called for the director, General Shinseki, to resign. Here's what Ollie said. Hold on.
The United States Army ought to resign because his soldiers who have served nobly and are now in the care of the Veterans Administration are not getting the care they deserve and need.
Do you think he should step down?
Amen, Ollie North. Our organization, Concerned Vets for America, was the first group to come out for Shinseki to step down a year ago. But you know what? The problem is, it isn't just about Secretary Shinseki. The reason the leader of the Phoenix VA hasn't been removed is because it's nearly impossible to fire bad employees at the Department of Veterans Affairs. So we need legislation, and there's legislation out there called the VA Management Accountability Act that would give that power to the Secretary to actually fire bad managers so you can create a culture of excellence and start to get at the root cause of the problem at VA, which is a unresponsive bureaucracy. Vets hit wall after wall after wall, and then they try to cover it up, the VA does, to make their performance look better. And it's a national outrage. And the more people know about it, the more they're going to be outraged about it. It's what top-down government-run healthcare looks like.
Well, it certainly it could be a potentially growing scandal that is absolutely horrific. What a defense. And there are investigations, and the Inspector General will now start to look into it. Pete.
There need to be more and more.
Absolutely. Yep. And there will be. Pete, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Great story. Wow. All right. Well, how